Welcome Amakhosi Network, welcome to the channel. Today we chat about Zwane possibly now being the Kaizer Chiefs interim coach to finish the season because Kevin Johnson is losing trust and there's a chance we're going to be out of the MTN 8 because the team doesn't even look like they practice anything. So in today's video we're going to be chatting about what is the pros to getting Zwane back and are there negatives? And obviously today's video I want to start with the negatives, then we will get to the pros. But before we get into that, please like, comment and subscribe, and please continue to support the channel and become members. It's only $20, but let's get to it. So we also, Eat the Skit Times basically has been watching social media and we have been seeing these things going around. People are saying, let's hire Zwane to finish the season, not as our permanent coach, but just to be a coach to finish the season because of how we're playing right now is very poor. Very, very poor. One thing I will say is this. If it is a possibility and Chiefs management really does chat to Zwane, the one thing I won't like about this whole thing is how Kaizer Chiefs management lacks decisiveness. When I say decisiveness, if an Al Ahly boss loses the Champions League, they don't wait 5 weeks to make a decision on whether we want to keep this guy. That very same night, they call the person in and then they say we're releasing you. So they are decisive. Big teams are decisive. They won't waste time. They'll be like, we wanted you to achieve X, you couldn't achieve X, so now Y is coming, which means we are firing you. So that is the one thing I don't like about Kaizer Chiefs management, is that if we are firing Zwane, if we are firing Cavin or making him go back to head of development, Zwane technically should have started today. He should not have one less day. He should be practicing with the team today because we were playing Richards Bay around the 20th of April. So he should already be coaching them now. Not on Friday, not on Sunday. It should be today. But we are Kaizer Chiefs and our management is still there like, should we bring Zwane? Should we? Just be decisive. Just say, you know what? Just finish the season. Give the fans what they want, finish the season. So what are the negatives to bringing Zwane? Let's start with the negative. The negative is this. Number one, there's a faction of Kaizer Chiefs fans who didn't like what Zwane brought in the previous season. They didn't like his lack of substitutions. They didn't like how he just impacted the game sometimes, how we were losing games, very unfortunate losses in my book, but they just didn't like that. And a lot of people just didn't like his arrogance. At some point people felt like Zwane seemed like a know-it-all, that's how he came across to a lot of fans. So a lot of fans didn't really like Zwane. And if the fans don't like Zwane, the problem is that if Zwane, let's say, comes in for Kevin Johnson and loses the next 2 games, it's going to be a nightmare. A nightmare for Zwane because they are going to throw him on staff 2 games in. Because that is what happens. There's a faction of Chiefs fans that really don't want to ever see Zwane again. And that's why Zwane is now also at risk if he comes and Chiefs continue to flop. So that is the big risk. And I think that's the biggest con that is to Zwane finish, because we're not even saying hire him for the rest as the permanent coach. No, we're not saying that, because we all understand Zwane has flaws. And one of his flaws is that he is not a very good coach in terms of defending. His defensive structure as a coach is really not good. So that's the one thing Zwane doesn't have going for him. But in terms of attack, I think he's one of the better coaches that have been coaching Chiefs, because we were attacking like crazy last year. So the other con to Zwane is that what Zwane has been asking Chiefs to give him since last season, Chiefs did not even give it to him. This didn't even give Molefe and them that's what he asked for last season, which is what? A lethal striker. We still don't have a lethal striker. So it still doesn't solve the problem that Zwane had, and why he even didn't want Pimenyimana, because he knew Pimenyimana won't be able to solve Chiefs' issues. But if he comes back as coach now, it's still going to be an issue because it hasn't been solved. That thing of not being able to score goals was Arthur Zwane's biggest problem. Meaning, what does that mean? That means that Arthur Zwane will make our attack very lethal. We're going to create chances. We're gonna be very explosive and attacking. But if there's no one who is willing to put the ball in the back of the net, it's all pointless. Because last season, we had Sahile, we had Dupree, we had Duba. These guys were there, but they couldn't score for Arthur Zwane. So this season, what will make them difference? Because what will make it different? The only difference this season is that we have Rang, but he hasn't really done much. The other thing that I think I have one more point on Arthur Zwane, and that is just like how he managed the game was very poor. When I say how he managed the game, our team was playing too fast. And a lot of you will be like, what do you mean too fast? I'm like, we were playing at 120 kilometers per hour from minute 1 to minute 190. And the issue is that our fitness coach is not good at fitness. So our players, when they played under Arthur Zwane, they always had a very good 20 to maybe 25 minutes. But after that, the players were finished. Like they could not run anymore. They were all tired because Arthur Zwane's game is so fast-paced that if you don't have a fitness coach to help you get the boys at the right level, the Arthur Zwane game will honestly kill you. And what honestly happens is that even if you can cope with the Arthur Zwane ball for one game, the next game you're going to see injuries and you're going to see players paining because Arthur Zwane plays a very intense and fast-paced football. In a way, it's a fun fact to say, but in a way, Arthur Zwane, if he had the right kind of players and very intelligent and stuff like that, and he had this fast-paced football and a better defense, Chiefs would actually be beating Sundowns because Sundowns plays a very slow football. Very slow. And actually, the whole DStv Premiership plays very slow football. So Arthur Zwane would be good in that sense, that we would be the fastest team, fastest to unlock, fastest to score goals and stuff like that. Playing at a very Barcelona, Bayern Munich, EPL pace. What are the positives? Positives is that I've already touched on them. Arthur Zwane was an offensive coach, very offensive. Arthur Zwane knows the players already, so he knows what to do. He's been watching on the sidelines. He knows how to get the best out of these guys. Especially he's worked with the youngsters. So that's the thing. It's familiar grounds and stuff like that. And he was there with Molefi Ntseki now during the season. So it's not like it's something very different. Like the players already used to Arthur Zwane. That is the positive. The other positive is that Arthur Zwane last season finished 5th on the log. Basically, he was going to finish 4th until he lost that last game against Cape Town City. But Arthur Zwane finished 5th with a defense that was so terrible. You know the mistakes that our defenders were making last season are nothing compared to the mistakes that are being made this season. This season, there are no mistakes. It's just bad coaching. Well, let me not say no mistakes, but like compared to what was happening last season. Last season, I don't even want to go back there, but it was bad. And another thing that happened last season with Arthur Zwane that made him have like a very bad team is that his midfield lacked bite, meaning it lacked players like Abumteta and Castillo who could fight in the middle. That's what it lacked last season. So last season he had a very big problem with the midfield, and which is slightly better this year, but I don't think it solves Chiefs' problems. Because in my opinion, this is now my opinion, after having assessed players like Amakhosi and Matt, I feel like we need to get upgrades of Usitebe and Matt. And in my opinion, and I know you guys won't like this, in my opinion, I would sell Castillo to Zamalek. I think that's the team that wants him. I would sell Castillo to Zamalek. I would send Gonzalez back to where he came from. And then I would send Saile on loan to Stellenbosch. And then what I'll do is that and then Dove nationalize, meaning that he's going to have a South African passport, meaning that I would have 4 foreign spots available. And in that 4 foreign spots, maybe even 5, I just can't remember the 5th spot if there's someone who's in the 5th spot. But anyway, in those positions that are available, what I would do is I would go and recruit some of the best. And when I say best, I'm saying like people who are seen as the best foreign players, both in South America or in Europe. Like about Paul Vika, who we've mentioned as a striker. Find the very best South American defensive midfielder. Find the very best South American winger or attacker. And just find... So our 4 foreign spots need to be the absolute best players. Like, that can like really cause havoc. That's what I would do. But anyway, onto the Zwane thing. And then the other positive about Arthur Zwane is that Arthur Zwane, when playing under when he was asked to finish the season once before, he actually did well. He actually did well with Dylan Shepherd. They went and finished the season. I think they took over from Stuart Baxter. And not Stuart Baxter, from Kevin Hunt. And he actually did well. Even he did well when he was asked to take over from Stuart Baxter, actually, now that I think about it. When he was asked to take over from Stuart Baxter, Arthur Zwane actually did well to finish the season. So Arthur Zwane seems like a very good motivator. So I would use him to finish the season because I think he knows how to get the energy out of these boys. And right now, our boys are working on a very low gear. And it seems Kevin Johnson can't motivate them or get them this work ethic out. And what I would do if I was the Kaizer Chiefs management, I'd create ultimatums and say, Arthur Zwane is here to assess who is going to remain a Kaizer Chiefs player next season. And if you do that, it's going to force these guys to pick up their socks. So that's what I'll do. So that is my take on Arthur Zwane. Arthur Zwane, I wouldn't say he's a good coach. I wouldn't even say he's a great coach. But I think he may be the coach we need to finish the season because I don't like what Kevin Johnson is doing. Tell me what you think, Amakhosi Nation. Tell me what you think, Amakhosi Network. And yeah, let me know what you think of Arthur Zwane. There's a lot of positives. There are a few negatives. But do you think he's the right man to finish the season? Let me know.